The ring, the symbol of a champion. The stars of college baseball have gathered again at Rosenblatt Stadium. And for the fans, the year-long wait is over. The 49th College World Series is here.
When you watch Omaha on TV when you're 5 or 6, 7 years old, you watch it all the way up. You dream about getting back to Omaha. And I know last year was the highlight of my life coming here.
There's no place like being in Omaha, and I always feel very fortunate to be here.
We're blessed to be out here, to be in this environment with these great people right here in the heartland of America. Man, this is what it's about, baseball.
The appeal of baseball is intimately wrapped up with one's youth. Baseball is very much about being young again in a harmless way. And one of its core appeals is to remind America of a time when it was young. We come from a rural, simpler America. What's home? Home is longing for when you are happy because you were young.
Of A. Bartlett Giamatti and the reverential tones of James Earl Jones as we've all come home to Omaha for the 1995 College World Series. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Rathman. Welcome to our coverage from Omaha, ESPN's 16th season here at the College World Series. The 8 regional champions have been seeded and divided into 2 brackets. Florida State is the number 2 seed. They'll meet Oklahoma here in just a moment. Miami against Southern Cal tonight here on ESPN. And then the second bracket, it's Cal State Fulton against Stanford on Saturday with the night game Clemson against the Volunteers of Tennessee. It's my privilege to be calling the action here along with Steve Garvey. And, Steve, we've got a great pitching matchup here right out of the chute. These 2 guys, Jonathan Johnson of Florida State, Mark Redmond of Oklahoma, both first-round picks yesterday in the draft.
Well, we have the finesse of Redmond, one of the great change-ups in college baseball, against the power and smoke of Johnson. On the other hand, you've got the defending national champions who are cool and confident, but seeded number 7, against a frustrated Florida State team that's seeded number 2, and they're a powerhouse.
The Sooners would certainly go for a repeat of what happened here last year. Oklahoma against Georgia Tech in the championship game. They had their ace reliever Bucky Buckles on the mound. And on this final play, the Sooners claim the NCAA baseball championship. They'll be out to defend their title as they meet Florida State when we come back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the College World Series is brought to you by Powerade, the official sports drink of the Olympic Games, and by Pert Plus shampoo and conditioner. Great hair, no fuss.
Omaha, Nebraska, and Rosenblatt Stadium, opening day of the 95 College World Series. And here's the Oklahoma Sooner lineup today. Head coach Larry Koshel lines them up this way. Eric Thomas, the center fielder, leads off with Bobby Brown, the left fielder, batting number 2. Hitting in the number 3 hole is the third baseman, Preston Paul. Damon Minor, the left-handed batting DH, hits cleanup. Javier Flores, their outstanding catcher, bats 5th. Ryan Minor, the 2-sport standout. You'll remember him from basketball. He's at first base, hitting 6th. Rich Hills, the sure glove at short, bats 7th. Brian Shackelford in right field, hits 8th. And the number 9 hitter is the second baseman, Jesse Zepeda. And they will go up against a young man, Steve Garvey and Jonathan Johnson, who has had a whale of a year for Florida State. The first pitcher selected in the draft yesterday.
Bob, Jonathan Johnson, 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball. Good tight slider, curveball, really comes at you. He's a bulldog on the mound.
And coming up to the box is Eric Thomas to get things started. Thomas, a left-handed hitter. The best bunter on this Oklahoma ball club. And the first pitch of the World Series is in for a strike. In the air to left. Morris coming in near the line and makes the running grab. The rest of the Florida State defense, as you see Morris heading back to his station in left field. Seminoles lining up this way. In center field, J.D. Drew. Hodges is in right. An outstanding defensive right fielder. Zetch at third, Badeau short, Lopez at second, Mankiewicz at first, Johnson on the mound, and Mike Martin Jr. behind the plate. Hodges also hot with the bat in addition to his outstanding play out in right field. Bobby Brown, the left fielder, is the hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. As you notice, Johnson gets that ball back, Steve. He is ready to pitch.
Bob, we're anticipating a quick game today. Both pitchers work extremely quick off the mound.
Off the glove of Lopez. He'll have no play at first base. Mickey almost made the leaping grab, but that ball squirted right out of his glove. The men in blue. Rich Fetchite is behind the plate, his first College World Series, and he has the honor of calling the balls and strikes this afternoon. Wade Ford at first, Ken Eldridge at second, Dave East is the man at third. It has been scored an error on Lopez. So man aboard, and Paul, the third baseman, takes high and tight.
Bob, just noting before the game during infield practice, Florida State a little tighter than the Sooners of Oklahoma. A little trouble holding on to the ball, fielding it cleanly. Florida State, I think, feels that this is a World Series that's theirs for the taking. They've been frustrated a number of times over the last 15, 20 years, and they want this badly.
Larry Koshel hanging out of side, and Bobby Brown off at first. He's a great base stealer, second on the ball club in steals. And he's running. The throw by Martin, the tag by Lopez, and they got him. Mike Martin behind the plate nails runners at a 51% clip. And it looked from here, Steve, that Brown got a pretty good jump, and Martin just threw a strike down to second base.
Well, as hard as Johnson throws, that fastball gets up there quick, gives Martin a chance, and he gets rid of it quickly. The ball is right on the money, and a good tag.
And at the plate, strike 3 called on Paul, and down go the Sooners in the top of the first. But Jonathan Johnson picks up his first strikeout. And as it turns out, 3 up and 3 down for Oklahoma in the top half of the first inning. The Seminoles of Florida State under head coach Mike Martin. Yet again in the World Series, no school has been to this event more times without winning than Florida State. They'll try to turn it around this year with Mickey Lopez, the second baseman, leading off. Randy Hodges is in right field. Mike Martin says the best to ever play that position at FSU. The leading hitter on the ball club is Doug Mankiewicz, the first baseman, hitting third. Jeremy Morris in left field batting cleanup, and a key guy in this series to give Mankiewicz some protection. Adam Perot, the DH, will bat fifth. Scott Zetch is the third baseman, batting sixth. Mike Martin Jr., the catcher, hitting seventh. J.D. Drew is in center field, batting eighth. And the shortstop for the Seminoles is Brooks Badeau, batting ninth. And on the mound is this big left-hander, 6'5" Mark Redman of Oklahoma.
And Mark Redman is a 4-pitch pitcher. His best pitch, the changeup. One of the best in college baseball, if not one of the best I've ever seen, Bob. He'll also throw a slider, mix in a curve. He'll measure the fastball and spot locate it. But he is a complete pitcher.
The defense that the Sooners will place behind him is an outstanding one. In fact, they've not committed an error in 3 straight College World Series games. And they had 15 errorless games during the regular year. Larry Koshel, his ball club, coming to Omaha with a record of 42-14. We're getting set for the Seminoles to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. And right now, let us call in our colleague, Mr. Larry Conley. Larry, welcome back.
Well, thanks, Bob. It's a pleasure to be back. You know, I really think this is going to be one of the better College World Series we're going to see. You know, every year a championship brings a ring with it, and I've got Oklahoma University's ring right here. Well, earlier in the year, they played Kansas State, Oklahoma did, and lost 2 games. So Hills and Thomas walked down the bus after the game was over with and said, Coach, we're thinking too much about last year. We're going to take up all the rings. They gathered them all up, put them in the safe of the business manager, and they'll get them back after the series is over with. This one happens to belong to Mike Krebs.
Well, maybe, Larry, they'll have a chance to put another ring on if they can repeat. Have a match set. Nicky Lopez, the Florida State second baseman, leading it off. Shows bunt and takes a strike. The corners were pinching Minor at first and Paul from third, because this Florida State club, their modus operandi this season has been bunt, run, do anything you can to get on base and move them along any way you can.
Bob, 7 of the 9 starters for the Florida State Seminoles have speed, have the green light to go. Sometimes it's up to them purely. Sometimes they get the sign, but they're fast.
Redmond jumps ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Look at these numbers for Redmond. 152 strikeouts, 133 and a third, and Minnesota Twins fans are already salivating on the prospects of having this young man in the Metrodome in the not-too-distant future. Little number to first. Ryan Minor's going to take it himself and beats Lopez to the bag. 1 gone at the FSU bottom of the first inning. Back in Rosenblatt, and the crowd continues to build as we get this first game of the World Series underway. Sunshine most of the morning. Now you can see some of the clouds rolling in. They've had a lot of rain here in Omaha, but the forecast for the weekend is very good. One thing's for sure, we've got a 100% chance of a whale of a game. These 2 guys, Redmond and Johnson, matched up in the first contest. Right fielder Hodges drops one down, and Redmond, a pretty good fielding pitcher, throws him out. Not a surprise when you're thinking that runs are going to be at a premium today to see Hodges drop one down.
The Seminoles know they have to do all the little things today in order to get base runners and then use their speed on the base pass. They'll bunt, they'll hit and run. They're going to try to chop down on a lot of these pitches by Mark Redmond, Bob, and just try to use their speed as a weapon.
Doug Mankiewicz, the leading home run hitter, in fact the leading everything for this FSU offense. 17 home runs, 73 runs batted in. And these 2 have a past history, Redmond and Mankiewicz. Doug rips one foul, and look out, that one kicking off and ends up in front of the FSU dugout.
Mankiewicz is as pure a college hitter as you'll find. Good base, lifts that leg up a la Sadahara O of the Tokyo Giants, but he's got tremendous bat speed and really shows us how he takes that changeup and lashes at the right field.
One of the reasons that Redmond's changeup is so good, Steve, is that he has tremendous arm speed that serves as a great decoy for that pitch. But Mankiewicz did a good job of staying in that time on the changeup.
He's faced him before. He faced him last summer. So at least he's had a chance to see that great changeup. And as you can see, he's lifting that leg up. That's probably as a form of keeping his balance and staying back.
Now Jeremy Morris. And a snap throw to first and a swipe tag by Minor. They nearly got Mankiewicz at first. Avi Flores, the catcher, not at all bashful about rifling that ball to first base.
First baseman in position, catches the ball. Oh, he tags him on the shoulder. If he would have tagged him on the wrist, he would have got him. His foot almost blocked him out, which would have been a good move on the first baseman's foot.
There's the off speed. Morris cutting through it.
You have a great target in Ryan Minor, 6'7", 230 pounds. If you're a catcher, you love that target.
0-2. Just missed. Ton of strikeouts for Redmond, as we talked about. In fact, he's just 6 away from becoming the all-time strikeout king in Oklahoma baseball, passing Ray Hayward's mark of 293. And they've got Mankiewicz to throw down to second, and he is out from me to you. Flores had his choice. He could either pick him off at first or gun him down at second, and he picks up the caught stealing. No runs and a hit. We've played an inning and no score.
Get ready.
The folks of Omaha and the fans of the team settling into this two-week baseball celebration here at Rosenblatt Stadium. The bottom of the first inning, Steve, ended on this caught stealing of Doug Mankiewicz.
When you don't have a lot of speed, he kind of took a little big Mother May I and then started to get going, and he's a pretty good-sized guy. And this was purely a watch this, way up in the air, not a lot of crossover steps there, and he double pumps and still gets him by about 10 feet.
I don't think that came out of the Maury Will School of Base Running.
It's good to be aggressive, but maybe we should choose somebody else next time.
David Miner will be leading it off for the Sooners as we move to the second. Jonathan Johnson on the hill for the Seminoles. Overshadowed perhaps by his twin brother Ryan with all of his great exploits on the basketball court and on the baseball field as well. But this Damon Miner is a major player for this Oklahoma outfit.
Damon in batting practice hit several balls, a couple off the light towers, a couple deep into the bleachers. And this young man is focused. He really has good bat speed, hitting the ball very, very well coming out of the regionals. Not that he has anything to prove, but I think being the younger brother, he really wants to do well. We were talking before. He's worked hard. He deserves it.
Shallow center. Through now as the wind pushes it toward left center. And there's one away. The Sooners, for the most part, had a breeze in winning the Midwest 2 region at All Sports Stadium in Oklahoma City. They were not challenged except until they got to the Auburn Tigers, an outstanding ball club coming out of the SEC. And in that 9-8 game, the Sooners moved into the winners bracket and then knocked off the Tigers to get here to Omaha. They had 15,379 at Oklahoma City for that final game. Outstanding regional at All Sports Stadium. Javi Flores, who threw out Mankiewicz a moment ago, gets his first swing of the day. He's a guy who has learned to catch at this level only during the last 2 years. An infielder by trade. Hadn't caught since his sophomore year in high school. And they Sooners have put him behind the plate. And Flores has been just outstanding.
Both catchers that way, Bob. Both catchers formerly infielders, converted to catchers. Excellent defensive catchers. It's like putting a quarterback on defense in football, and as a defensive back, they know what's going to happen.
2 balls and a strike. No score in the second, and you don't figure there's going to be many runs on the board today. Nice off-speed breaking pitch. 2-2.
Johnson working aggressively, but very smooth in his delivery.
And there is the second strikeout for Jonathan Johnson.
89-mile-per-hour fastball. Taking a look at his delivery. The movement on the fastball. Tails in just a little bit on the inside. Overhead view. Inside half of the plate.
One of the great traits in Jonathan Johnson is the fact, Steve, that he will maintain that same velocity just about first inning to ninth inning. He won't lose a lot off that fastball even after he throws 120, 130 pitches.
It was noted one time this season he threw 3 balls 94 miles per hour in the first inning and 1 94-mile-per-hour fastball in the ninth inning.
Here's Ryan Miner with 2 outs and nobody aboard, following one away. One of the great stories of college sports, Ryan Miner. He was the MVP of the Midwest 2 region, and you can see why. And this, of course, right on the heels of an outstanding basketball season when he was the Big 8 MVP. Edged out Bryant Big Country Reeves for that honor. Led the Big 8 in scoring. Doesn't play baseball except during the college season. It's amazing that he can make that transformation and be such a tremendous star.
And hadn't touched a bat from last year, the end of last season, all the way until he got done with basketball and came out for the team mission.
Incredible. Hit well. Center fielder Drew on the run, hauls it in, and that will do it for the Oklahoma Sooners in the top of the second. Well, just as we expected, the duel is heating up between Johnson and Redmond. scoreless as the Seminoles come to bat in the bottom half of the second inning. Jeremy Morris will be leading it off. He'll be followed by Adam Perot and then Scott Zetch. The Oklahoma Sooners defense, and it's a good one. Bobby Brown at left, Eric Morris in center, Thomas rather in center, and Brian Shackelford in right field. In the infield, third baseman is Trustin Paul, Rich Hills at short, Jesse Zepeda, the second baseman, Ryan Miner over at first with Flores behind the plate. And this young man, Rich Hills at shortstop, is the veteran on this infield. This is his third College World Series and is really the anchor to this infield defense.
4-year starter, and he is closing in on probably 6 all-time records for the Sooners.
Jeremy Morris was left standing at the plate when Mankiewicz was thrown out to end the first, so Jeremy will lead it off here in the second. And he hits this one to straightaway center field. Thomas going back on the ball, just shy of the track. Like these pitchers needed any assistance today, the wind is blowing straight in.
And you know, Bob, Morris having seen a few pitches last inning was a benefit to him, and he really drove that ball very, very well.
Breeze, for the most part, coming straight in on the hitters, which makes it all the more tougher for these hitters against these two outstanding pitchers. Adam Perot really up in the front of that batter's box.
And that's where you should be against a pitcher with a great changeup.
Bunts it, and a good one. Knocked up nicely by the second baseman. A bunt single for Adam Perot. The second Seminole hit of the game.
The Seminoles have to do things like this. Perot does a great job of getting this ball down. He deadens the ball, and then with good speed, he gets a good jump. The lefty has to go over, pivot around. Now he slides at first, which I'm not big on, but he makes it and starts off a rally for the Seminoles.
You mentioned a key phrase there, deadening the ball. Not an easy trick with an aluminum bat.
Very tough.
Past the third baseman, playing in the ninth. Stopping at second is Adam Perot. Scott Zetch with the base hit, and with one away, the Seminoles have runners at first and second. Perot dropped the bunt down on the first pitch. Zetch goes after the first pitch, and the Seminoles have something cooking.
That's why I like the art of bunting. It really gets the defense back on their heels. It's oh gosh, you know, should I play in a little more this time? Tristan Paul that time played in 2 or 3 steps, didn't know whether they were going to try to get the run over. Zetch hits the ball by him, now runners in first and second, and only one out.
And here's Mike Martin Jr., the left-handed batting Seminole catcher. And when you see the average of 218, do not be deceived. This young man has had more than his share of key base hits this season. Game-winning home runs against Miami and Clemson come to mind.
And they see a 218 batting average with a 422 slugging average tells you that he can drive the ball, and when he does make contact, he has some power.
And a good eye at that point. 50 walks, only 27 strikeouts. Mark Redmond in some second inning difficulty here for the Sooners.
Talking with Mike Martin, the coach of the Seminoles, they will be aggressive. They will double steal. They'll do anything to get that national championship.
And a proud papa yesterday when word came down that his son was drafted in the 9th round by San Diego.
There he is, looking at the player and looking at the symbol.
And this one into center field and a base hit. The runners had to hold as Thomas comes up with the ball in a hop. Perot to third, Zetch to second, and the Seminoles have the bases loaded.
Nice flat swing by Mike Martin. It's a line shot to center. Let's take a look at this fastball right down the middle, thigh high. Perot hesitated. That's why he didn't score on that play. Bases loaded. 1 out.
Here's J.D. Drew, a future star in Seminole country. solid freshman year. And he hit .259 against left-handers. Redmond falls behind.
J.D. Drew, tremendous power. Just a freshman. With Mike Martin before the game, and he said, I've got to let Drew go up there and swing away. I've got to start him, even though he's against a great lefty in Redmond. He's one of the guys that got us here, and he can break a game open.
Drew fouls it away.
Classic power swing. Big young man, about 6'2", about 200 pounds.
I think Stevie might be a little susceptible to that changeup.
Well, that's why Coach Martin said, listen, think up to middle, left center. If you do that, you stay back longer, you'll still be able to hit it out in left field. You've got tremendous power to offfield.
Now swing. And Redmond in danger of walking in the lead run in this game.
There's Redmond, eyes focused. A little changeup that says circle change. You can see the rotation coming in 55 miles per hour. What a contrast to 80 as a fastball. Not afraid to throw the changeup at 3-1. There's a young man who's got confidence in his out pitch. Will he throw it on 3-2? 3 straight? I'm betting.
Bases loaded, 1 away.
Should have listened to him.
Adam Ferraro scores the fourth run of the 49th College World Series.
Does that first one mean a lot? I think so.
Well, keep in mind, this Florida State ball club has been on a tremendous roll. They just steamrolled the opposition in their region and crushed Clemson back-to-back games to win the ACC tournament. Well, this is a hot ball club, and they score a ton of runs. They didn't expect to get a whole lot today against Redmond, but they have the capabilities of breaking a game open. And Brooks Badeau, the shortstop, the number 9 hitter, is up there trying to take his rips here. With Zetch at third, Martin at second, and Drew at first base.
It's a good bunter by. Don't put it by Martin and have him push it by the pitcher. So Steve, you're getting a little low. The bases loaded, 1 out. Why would you do that? Well, the Seminoles are known to go against the grain a little bit and make things happen. Corners in.
Now 1-2. Florida State 1, Oklahoma nothing here. Bottom half of the second. 1 away. And the sack's loaded for Badeau.
Always got to think right side, right field, stay back.
The first K for Mark Redmond.
It's so difficult for young college hitters to hit against a great changeup. Nobody throws it against them in batting practice. They rarely see it. This pitch just gets out in front too much.
Now with 2 gone, second baseman Mickey Lopez. Grounded out to first baseman Ryan Miner to lead off the Florida State first is up there. 1-0 FSU. And a nice stop by Flores. And he had to drop down to his knees to block that one. And perhaps to save a run.
Javier does a good job that time. He knows that with a runner in third, he's going to throw his body in front of the ball.
Lopez has been one of the hot hitters for FSU. And surprisingly so, Steve, with his power. He has hit 4 home runs in the past couple of weeks. And during the ACC tournament, 5'10" 165-pound Mickey Lopez hit 3 home runs in 1 day.
It's all in the bat speed, as they say.
Now 1-2. So Redmond is a strike away. And if he could get out of this mess with just 1 run scoring, that would be quite an accomplishment.
He did a great job of coming back. Now, this is a situation where he mixes in a curveball. And they spot the fastball outside. Catcher sets up out there. Curveball down and in. What he's doing that is he is setting that up for either a changeup outside or a tailing fastball. He's planted the seed with Nicky Lopez that he can throw inside. 2-2. He still has a pitch to work with.
Back-to-back K's to win it, and it's a one-run second, and that's all for the Seminoles. We head to the third, 1-0 FSU. Florida State, a bases-loaded walk to J.D. Drew forces home the game's initial run as we go to the top of the third. Coming up tonight on ESPN, Game 2 of this College World Series, the number 6 seed Southern Cal against the number 3 seed Miami. The Trojans making their first appearance here since '78, chasing their 12th national title. Miami making their third appearance in the 90s. Pitchers tonight, Ben Tucker for Southern Cal, Kenny Henderson for Miami at 7:30 Eastern Time. 13 games over the next 8 days here on ESPN and ESPN2. And this is one of the great events in the world of baseball. Even the professional folks really get excited about watching these games.
Well, this is the mecca of college baseball. This World Series in Omaha is synonymous.
Rich Hill's leading off for the Sooners. And Jonathan Johnson with a one-run lead here in the third inning. For 3 straight years, Rich Hill's first-team All-Big 8 defender for Oklahoma.
4-year starter, Bob. 3 years here at the College World Series.
And with this plate appearance, he breaks the school record for career plate appearances. 2-1. Rich Hill's college game number 237.
He's only missed 12 games in 4 years.
And I know you have
my kind of guy.
I was going to say, you have a tender spot in your heart for guys who play every day.
And he can hit too.
That's the first base hit for Oklahoma. Rich Hill singling to right.
Take a look at Rich Hill. Goes with the pitch just as a good hitter should do. Hits a line shot, stayed behind the ball. Good job of hitting.
Now Brian Shackelford. And first pitch swinging, lifts one to shallow right. Lopez, the second baseman, backpedaling, gives way to Hodges, and Randy puts that one away for the first out of the third. Bears remains at first, and now second baseman Jesse Zapata is coming up.
Bob, right fields here at Rosenblatt Stadium is the Sun Field right now with a few clouds. It's nice, hazy out, but later on, if the sun breaks through, it could be a problem for our right field.
And you can see the glasses on Hodges, and that is a point that Mike Martin makes. He can tell you just about every pitch of every game he's coached in this World Series over the years. I asked him about what he has said to Hodges and his outfielders about the sun here. He says, yes, they don't go out there without their glasses. No matter what, we lost a game here in 1980. Mike Yastrzemski lost a fly ball. Bouncing ball towards second. Lopez quickly, and there's 2 gone with Hills advancing to second. So the Sooners put their first man in scoring position this afternoon. And Eric Thomas is coming up. Jonathan Johnson back on the mound here in Omaha. Of course, this Florida State bunch last year won the first game as they knocked off LSU. And you see what Jonathan did in the World Series a year ago.
Solid performance. Only 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. No base on balls. Pitched well.
Thomas 0 for 1 with a fly to left his first time. 1-0 Florida State in the third. Johnson, like Redmond, a big strikeout man, 125 Ks and 125 innings. 7th round pick of the Rangers, the 1st round pick, number 7 overall. Oh, that's a play, 0-2. Eric Thomas, senior from Riverside, California. All tournament in the regional last week in Oklahoma City. Texas swing, did he go? The appeal to third, yes, they got it. It's a strikeout for Johnson, and that's all for the Sooners. An 0-2 pitch, and Thomas could not hold his swing. For Jonathan Johnson, his 3rd strikeout in as many innings. 1-0 Florida State. Along with Steve Garvey, Bob Rathman at the College World Series with FSU leading Oklahoma 1-0. Let's check in now with an interested spectator, Clemson head coach Jack Leggett. He's standing by with Larry.
Thanks, Bob. You know, you saw that strikeout in the 3rd inning that Johnson racked up. Well, this man sitting to my right saw enough of that from that guy all year long. Jack, obviously Jonathan Johnson, one of the better pitchers not only in the ACC but in this country.
Well, there's no doubt, Larry, he's one of the best that we've seen all year long, and we've seen a lot of good ones. But he's got a good, hard, sharp breaking ball that breaks late and changes planes real quickly. And he's got a great fastball to go along with it. So if you start looking one, the other one looks even that much better. And he's a very, very competitive pitcher, and I think that's probably his best attribute.
Is club ready tomorrow?
Well, I hope so. Well, we've had off since Sunday, and I hope our timing comes back quickly against a good Tennessee team.
Okay, Bob, back to you.
Okay, Larry, thanks. As Hodges leads it off in the FSU 3rd. Quite a thrill for Jack Leggett. He was here as a player 19 years ago for the University of Maine, and now he comes as a head coach of the Clemson Tigers. Mike Gillespie, the head coach of Southern Cal tonight, becomes a man in that inner circle of having played in the College World Series and coached in it as well. Mark Redmond struggled momentarily with his control, walked through with the bases loaded. That's the game. Only 2 strikes. Mike Martin has been denied so many times here at Omaha, Steve, so many different ways. You might think they'd run out of hotels. They've changed everything. They're staying in a different hotel. They're eating at different restaurants.
They're even shaving their heads.
To open the 3rd inning. The 3rd K for Mark Redmond.
You know, Bob, sometimes you got to mix it up a little bit. Let's take a look at this strikeout pitch again from Mark Redmond. There's the good fastball up. You see it right over the corner of the home plate. Hodges swings through it.
Kavich fouling it away. Singled to right field the first time. Later caught stealing in the 1st.
Take a look at Doug, and we really want to look at his body balance. I think all great hitters have good body balance. All great athletes have good balance. Follows the ball on Ted Williams. Sees it all the way back. And hit the ball where it's pitched. Knows he can hit it out of the ballpark to all fields.
Right field and Shackelford. Coming in, that wind continues to push it for the second baseman. Lepeta backs up to haul it in. We talked about Mike and his frustrations here in Omaha. Says this year's going to be different. He's going to relax and enjoy the game. And so far, so good. 1-0 FSU here in the 3rd inning, facing this Mark Redmond, who has not lost a game since March the 15th at Arizona State. Comes to the World Series with 11 straight wins. 2 outs and nobody on. Jeremy Morris is the hitter. As we touched on earlier, Steve, a key man for Mike Martin here this 2-week run in Omaha. Morris has to come through to give Mankiewicz some protection in that lineup.
Any good power hitter, whether it's a 3rd or 4th spot, needs somebody behind him that you just can't pitch around the big guy too. And if that guy's hot, I know when I was playing, if Dusty Baker was hot behind me or Ron Sales, I was that much better.
Slammed to left center field. Thomas got a good jump on it and makes the catch. Morris getting good aluminum on an 0-2 pitch. But down in order for the Seminoles. One 0 Florida State over Oklahoma. We've played 3 here in Game 1 of the '94 College World Series. A big day yesterday, of course, the Major League Baseball draft getting underway. In the first round.
R0046, Johnson, right-handed pitcher.
Go Rangers.
Johnny Oates there is your man in the not-too-distant future. And the thing you love about him, Steve, he's absolutely fearless on the mound. Real bulldog competitor.
Very much so. You can see in the eyes of the great ones, they're focused, they stay within themselves. And you can throw 94, 95, it helps.
And from the first pitcher taken in the draft yesterday, Bobby Brown, the leading hitter for the Sooners with an average of .373. 2, 3, 4 hitters here for the Sooners.
From this angle, Bobby Brown, not real aggressive on a good tight slider, pulling out just a little bit.
Well, excuse me, shot to right field. Randy Harvey moves over to handle.
Pretty good hit for an excuse me for a half swing to stop.
Let's take a look this time. Bobby's right on the ball, but doesn't get a full swing. Stays back, lifts the leg up. Well overextended, and just fights it off to right field. Hits it about 300 feet, not bad.
Kristen Paul, the third baseman. Looked at a third strike his first time. Kristen and first team all Big 8 tournament selection. Just 5 games late with a hamstring problem. But he's been one of the hot hitters for the Sooners of late. Carries a 6-game hitting streak into this tournament. He's knocked in a run in 5 straight games. This one fouled into the seats.
Bob, we're starting to settle in this game now. The guys have seen Johnson one time around now. They're starting to get loose. The nerves are settling down. This is when Oklahoma's got to start making things happen. They can't wait too long against a great pitcher like Johnson.
And nearly hit him. Boy, he jammed him proper.
I don't know how he got out of the way of that one. That was a good live 90-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside. Especially with an open stance, it's tough to get away. Watch this. I'm thinking it took a few hairs off that forearm.
I guess so. 5-6, the side saddles, Epps can't make the play. It is something that has puzzled baseball people for many years. Why is the bad hop always the last one? That's that time. As tried to backpedal and take the long hop, but it did him in.
Well, what Tristan Paul did that time was hit a ball with good topspin. And once it hit the dirt here at Rosenblatt, it just took off and ate him up.
Now Damon Minor. Fly to center in the second inning. Jonathan Johnson has yielded but 1 hit. The Sooners have had 3 base runners, 2 by error. Just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Our center field camera will take a look at the catcher setting up for the location. If you see him shift to the outside, it means he wants that ball out there away from the hole. The ball gives the signs. He sets up outside again. And they want to give this big, powerful left-hander a fastball on the inside so he can turn on it. You see the sign. Could be a curveball with a 2.
Now 2-2. One of the great attributes of Mike Martin is his ability to handle a pitching staff. Working with Mike Martin Sr. and calling a game. So the pitcher first one. Here's hit. Paul was running. That's at the third. The Sooners have something going here with men at first and third and 1 away.
Oklahoma gets it going by having a hit and run in which Johnson hangs a curveball to Minor, who lashes it to right field. Take a look at Damon Minor now. Gets that hanging curveball and goes down and just slashes it to right field. Now with runners on first and third, 1 out in the top of the 4th.
Flores out to take a look at a sign from Larry Koshel. As you see, Paul at third and Minor at first base. Oklahoma bidding to tie the game. Flores was a strikeout victim in the second. Steve, I've got to believe this young man went to school on that first at bat.
I think he did. He's hitting the number 5 spot. He's a good RBI man, hitting .363. Got to be thinking up the middle the other way to get this run in. This is a thinking hitter situation. With 1 out, he's got to think about getting the ball up in the air, getting that run in somehow, or hitting it to the right side. Second and short for the Seminoles are in double play position.
And hard to third, could be 2. Zech goes to second. Double play. Room service around the horn. 5-4-3, and the Sooners are denied. No runs, a hit, a boot, and a man left. 1-0 Seminoles. Steve Garvey, the Seminoles' worst fears were realized on that double play as Flores hit into it 5-4-3, and Jonathan Johnson, well, you can see how fired up he gets, and he carries that emotion through all 9 innings.
Well, that's Mike Martin's philosophy for his team. He doesn't want to see his players ever show negative expression, only positive. And this Jonathan Johnson shows positive emotion out there, especially with a double play ball like that.
Scott Hyman, brother, at the ticket information window.
Come on in and join us here. This is the first of our doubleheader today on ESPN. Miami and Southern Cal tonight. And everybody renewing old acquaintances here at the ballpark in the past couple of days. And fans, I'm sure some are sitting in seats that they've been in for many, many years here in Rosenblatt.
Middle of the afternoon on a Friday. People take a little time off of work coming out to what is inherently Omaha in the College World Series.
So Mark Redmond, as we mentioned, has won 11 straight, hasn't lost since late March, and he too a first rounder yesterday by the Minnesota Twins, facing Adam Faroux, Florida State Gators.
Faroux leading off the first time, starting the rally that created the run for FSU.
Right back to the pitcher. 1 gone. And since the bases loaded walk, Steve, that forced a run in, Redmond has now retired 6 straight. Coming up tomorrow, live at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, Eastern Conference game number 1, New Jersey and Philadelphia. As the Stanley Cup playoffs continue, Martin Brodeur, Devils goalie, 8-2 in the playoffs and a microscopic 1.25 goals against average with 3 shutouts. That's tomorrow. Scott Zech, single to left, his first time. 1 away, and the base is empty. Florida State leading 1-0. Zech out of that number 6 hole, pretty good stint, getting .333 coming into the World Series with 3 home runs, won the third base job in the preseason. You may recall that last year in the World Series, Scott Zech played left field here in Omaha and was a middle infielder when he arrived in Tallahassee.
He's become versatile, as they say.
Yes. Like they say about aging baseball veterans, the older you get, the more gloves you have.
That's right. My old friend Jay Johnstone had about 4 or 5 of them in his lunch.
Redmond bounces this one up to fill the count. Redmond 6-0 in tournament play and a couple of wins in the College World Series last year. this Oklahoma team has won 12 straight tournament games. Strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts for Redmond. Quickly 2 up and 2 down.
You've heard the term he froze him with that pitch, and that's exactly what he did. Comes in with that circle change again. And Zetch just frozen. Couldn't swing the bat. Strike 3.
If the Sooners come from behind and win this game today, they will tie the all-time NCAA record for consecutive tournament wins, held by Southern Cal at 13. Bobby Brown racing in to grab it. And 1, 2, 3 go the Seminoles in the 4th inning. 4 complete, and Redmond settling into a nice groove. From all across the country, they've made their way to Omaha, Nebraska for this 49th College World Series, and we have had a dandy. 1-0 FSU as we move to the 5th inning. The Seminoles' only run coming on a base-hit walk, and you just get the feeling, Steve, that Jonathan Johnson has been told by his teammates, well, pal, there's your run, go get him.
Like the Dodgers back in the 60s with Koufax and Drysdale. You got your run, go to it. That's all you need, right?
Well, this man leading off is going to have something to say about it. First baseman Ryan Miner flew to center in his first at-bat. Only 2 hits for the Sooners, both to right field. One brother Damon got one an inning ago, and then Hills singled to lead off the 3rd, and they couldn't get him past 2nd. There have been, of course, a lot of great pitching performances in the College World Series, but with the score 1-0 and the strikeout artists that we have on the mound today, we're reminded of what happened here in 1965. Ohio State's Steve Arlen, with one of the best pitched games in World Series history, struck out 20 in 15 innings as he shut out Washington State 1-0. There's a drive, deep left center field. That's where they're going.
Slider by Johnson. This time Miner just separates and lifts, hits the ball about 420 feet and gets him back in the game.
Tied at 1 and showing bunt Rich Hills. Takes ball 1.
Well, we had a little warning. The previous 2 batters, Ryan's brother Damon and then Javier Flores, hit line shots.
And here's another shot to center, but right at J.D. Drew. And there's one away. Well, it's a moot point now since another pitch has been thrown. But watch Ryan Miner around first. He missed the bag. Or did he kick it with his toe?
He may have caught it with his left toe. As a first baseman, you always watch a runner come in. Watch the toe. Yes, he does barely clip it.
Wow.
So the only responsibility that the first baseman has, he can't do anything else but make sure that the runner touches the bag. That's why there was no protest.
Can you recall that happening in your career?
Twice in my career, I caught guys.
Is that right? On home runs?
On home run. Very disappointing when you get your home run called back.
Fouled away by Brian Shackelford.
But after you hit the ball, the only important thing is make sure you touch the bases. You know, it's gone, it's gone.
A great look. Well, we thought we had a scoop there. Here's a fly ball to right to Hawkins. And that Sun put it away out number 2. Now Jesse Zepeda is coming up.
There's Ryan.
And lots of power and competitors. He and Jonathan Johnson getting to know each other rather well here the first 5 innings of this game.
That's right. I think maybe a few words from Ryan, like I got you that time.
Made a bounce to second. Oklahoma on the Ryan Minor homer, coming back to tie it, and a run apiece. Johnson way early with that one. On a strike.
The only problem Johnson has from time to time is location of the fastball. And he hasn't been hurt by the fastball yet. He's been hurt by the breaking ball.
Zepeda had a big regional, and a home run in the 9-8 win over Auburn. Then came back in the next game against the Tigers with an RBI single. Switch hitter. And he's worked the count to 2-2 on Jonathan Johnson. Jeremy Morris measuring and squeezing out number 3. So the leadoff home run by Ryan Minor has tied the game. Larry Coshell Sooners even now with the Seminoles halfway through.
You know, it's interesting to be here in Omaha, but also when you've got superstitious people. Well, Mark Redmond, the pitcher for Oklahoma, does something with the cap, the bill of his cap, every time he walks out onto the mound. He has 3 inscriptions written on there, and he looks at them to give him a little boost. Confidence, courage, and control written on the bill of that cap with the inscriptions on the inside. There he is looking at it right now. He does that before every inning.
And Steve, I can say words to live by for all of us, I think.
I can do all the things through Christ who strengthens me. That's his personal philosophy, and it's a great.
J.D. Drew, the leadoff man for Florida State. Picked up the RBI with the bases-loaded walk. The Seminole run coming in the second. Only one blip on the Redmond screen so far. That 22-pitch second inning. A bunt single by Faroz. Zetch single to left. Martin single to center. Then this man Drew on a 3-2 pitch took an inside fastball. The Seminoles run. Only 9 pitches for Redmond in the third. 9 more in the fourth.
Bob, J.D. Drew's a freshman. This is going to be a great education over the next few days for this young man. He's going to be the anchor for the Seminole team over the next few years.
We'll see the Miami Hurricanes tonight on ESPN. And J.D. hit 3 homers in one game against the Canes earlier this year. Zepeda tried to shovel it to Hills in hopes that his shortstop could get a throw off, but fumbled out there, and J.D.'s got an infield hit.
This ball is hit well by Drew. Up the middle. Zepeda thinking, tries to shuffle it to Hills. Just can't quite handle it. Safe at first for a single.
Now Brooks Badeau, who's an excellent bunter. The number 9 hitter in Mike Martin's lineup card. The Seminole running game, which has produced 161 steals. They average 3 attempts per game, has been muted by the left-hander Redmond. And that time, had Minor been closer to the bag, they would have picked off J.D. Drew.
Redmond's stretch really precedes himself, Bob, simply because he's got a classic left-hander move. See how he freezes the runner? Now the runner's got to get back. If this ball's down, he's got him nailed by 2 or 3 feet at least.
Well, Ryan had come off the bag. He faked out his own first baseman with it. That's a pretty good move.
That's right. More education for J.D. Drew. He's not quite off as far as he was, and he's leaning back to first. Very smart. That's known as a one-way lead.
The opposition is 1 for 11 in stolen base attempts against Mark Redmond this season.
Fastball, 4-seam grip.
Inside, there they hit it. There's the ball. the tag. And again, Flores showing off that talented arm.
Flores aggressive again. This time the throw and the tag at the body. He comes around, see the hands there before the body. If he gets him on the shoulder this time, he would have gotten him out. This is a classic matchup between pitcher and base runner.
J.D. Drew came to the World Series with 11 steals and 12 attempts. Here's the bunt. And they're going to go to second for the force. Coverage by the shortstop, Rich Hill. Ryan Miner, no doubt in his mind, he was going to go to second.
Badeau bunting the ball a little too hard. Get the ball on the ground. See, he pops it up a little bit. The ball comes right up. And a good throw by Ryan Miner to second base.
One gone. And Badeau replacing Drew at first and Lopez the batter.
Execution, execution, execution. Mike Martin is saying to himself right now, we've got to do the little bit.
And a very small lead by Brooks Badeau now at first base. Brooks had 18 steals and 19 attempts through the region. And you can see as Redmond delivered the pitch to the plate, the move for Badeau was back to the bag.
He's already set up his reputation by almost picking off Drew. Kind of going back that way. He probably gives him another second at second base on a ball hitting the infield. So once that front leg goes back behind the rubber, then the pitcher has to go home. And he does a good job of lifting that leg up and freezing the runner.
A half a dozen throws to first here by Redmond. Pitch out. Avi dropped it. But staying put at first is Badeau. Another interesting stat on Redmond: 0 balks.
And you know, guys with good moves on the mound will balk periodically simply because he'll even fool the umpire at first base. The umpire will see something and it'll look different, and he'll call a balk right away. Ricky Lopez for the Seminoles makes things happen.
Another throw, driving Badeau back to the bag.
That's why you have to watch from the dugout. Watch how the pitcher's shoulder closes. Watch how his leg moves.
And taking a tumble was Ryan Miner at first. Badeau really taking a lot of punishment over there.
One of the problems with sliding back head first is you have those shoulders susceptible to injury, whether it's hitting a leg or a foot or jamming your hands. Miner at 6'7", 230 does a pretty good job of blocking first base. There's the changeup, circle change. Flores gets rid of it, sticks that big leg down there, big stump. He barely gets back.
Life is tough at first base right now for FSU.
Redmond's doing two things. He's creating anxiety by throwing over to first for the hitter.
Three call.
He makes Lopez wave and wait, then comes in with a good pitch and freezes it.
Redmond's 5th strikeout.
I mean, that pitch right there is so hittable, so good. And not the swing on a strike 3. Oh, that's tough.
Well, it's all up to Randy Hodges if the Seminoles are to move Badeau off first base. Hodges 0 for 2. Tried to bunt his way on in the first and struck out swinging in the third.
The Seminoles have to change their philosophy now. What they're doing is they're guessing at the plate. They've got to start seeing the ball and hitting it, being guessing. They're not guessing right, obviously, and they're in trouble.
Hodges with the wave through the pitch.
Pitchers like Redmond get better as the game goes on because they start to get loose and they start to get in sync. The only game where the defense has the ball. Pitcher knows speed, location, and angle.
forcing Badeau to step back to the bag as he delivers to Hodges. Does it take, with all these throws, Steve, a little off your concentration, perhaps, a bit to the plate, a little bit off your stuff?
No, I think it works inversely for the hitter. Really? The hitter starts to get lulled by the ball going over to first, and all of a sudden comes up.
And falls behind, 2 balls and a strike.
See, Redmond is focused. He knows what he's doing on that. And this is a classic college pitcher. He hasn't lost in months. Confident within himself. Worked out of that difficult situation in the bottom of the 6th.
Badeau's running, and a line swing right to Margaret first. Randy Hodges hit a C, but right at Ryan. He does it with the bat. He does it with the glove. 1-1 after 5.
Get ready.
It's 1-1 at the top of the 6th. And the sounds of baseball at the College World Series. Thank you. It is great to be back in the sights and sounds of summer. Just a beautiful day. We've had a lot of clouds here, but right now the sunshine is in Omaha, and also in Omaha, Eric Thomas. The forecast for the weekend is a good one. Beautiful day for baseball. Beautiful day for anything. It's just gorgeous. Thomas over 2 with a fly to left and a strikeout. Trying to get it going. Top of the card here, and a bunt on the first pitch. Zetch at third. Throws him out. Well, the Sooners had the 1-2-3 men up, and Thomas going right to work on Zetch with the bunt. Scott made the good play. Here are the 2 aces and what they've done in their card game so far. Strikeouts, Redmond a bit of an edge, but that big walk by Redmond cost him a run. Bobby Brown is 0 for 2. Sooners with 3 hits so far. You see the variety and the assortment of the stuff of Jonathan Johnson. Steve, 3 pitches that he can throw, and just seemingly at any time in the count, all for strikes.
Johnson, good tight slider. Of course, the run fastball. Not afraid to throw it at any time. It's interesting, too, that Johnson uses the rubber very, very well. Right-handed hitter, he'll go to the far left side if you're a batter looking out. Right there. And the reason he does that is so he can throw across and get that ball moving away from the right-handed hitter.
What game on? The 4th punch out for Jonathan Johnson. Quickly, 2 up and 2 down.
This is a good shot. See the ball probably 2 or 3 inches outside, forcing the batter to swing at it. Good live fastball in the 90s that time.
Tristan Paul stepping in. 2 outs, bases empty in a 1-1 game. Paul, a junior from Rolling Hills, California. A lot of Golden State influence on this Oklahoma ball club. Coach Cashel with a great recruiting pipeline.
California and Oklahoma, pretty good combination.
He's a foul back.
Both pitchers settling in now. 6th inning. Nice and warm. Both guys loose. Going up to their capabilities. Something's got to happen, probably defensively, to break this game open.
One break, 1 miscue, as you mentioned, Steve, and the 1 pitch that Johnson hung out there for Ryan Miner. I don't know what to do with it. Hit the home run in the 5th. That got Oklahoma even. For Johnson, the 9th home run that he's allowed this season. Big bouncer, and Badeau makes the play from behind second. And the Sooners go in order in the 6th inning. We've played 5.5 in Omaha, tied in a run apiece. One to one as Florida State comes to bat in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Last year, the Seminoles in the first round took on the defending champs and beat LSU 6-3, but then the bottom dropped out. That huge 10th inning for Georgia Tech sent the Yellow Jackets off and winging toward the championship game, and then FSU losing to Cal State Fullerton 10-3. And as Coach Martin is so fond of saying, lose 2 and barbecue. And that was it for the Seminoles. Their leading hitter, Doug Mankiewicz. First man up to face Mark Redmond here in the 6th inning.
Mankiewicz with good swings, each of his 2 previous at-bats. Compact, great bat speed.
Fouled away. And who knows, Steve, these two may be teammates in the not too distant future, both drafted by Minnesota yesterday. Mankiewicz in the 5th round and Redmond the #1 pick.
Speaking of the Twins, Mankiewicz, Kent Herbeck looking guy with again, similar defensive abilities and a lot of power.
Past the diving Zepeda. Mankiewicz with his 2nd hit. Well, the Seminoles have come here without victory more times than any other club in the field. Is FSU's jinx? Here's Mike Martin.
We're blessed. We're not jinxed. We're blessed to be out here, to be in this environment with these great people right here in the heartland of America. Man, this is what it's about. Baseball. This is the chance for all of these young men to display their talents. No, blessed is a whole lot better word than jinxed.
Jeremy Morris now for FSU. And, you know, when you talk to Mike Martin, I mean, this is the way this guy has lived this season.
He was talking about having all the horses this year. He said, I just send them out. And he said, they just go out and do the job. He said, some years I've really had to talk to them and really had to get on them. And he said, I'm going to type A personality. He said, I'm at peace with myself. This is it. The finish line is a couple days away. And he said, it's up to them. I'm just going to guide them.
Firing the first, driving Mankiewicz back. Jeremy Morris, hitless in 2 at-bats, had a hit in 2 times last year in Omaha. To third, hard hit ball. Paul bobbles, recovers, gets 1, gets 2. The speed with which that ball was hit allowed Paul the chance to bobble it just briefly and still turn 2.
Hits the ball real hard. Paul makes sure he's got the hand spaded with a good turn and the double play. Good job.
Both infields, Steve, have turned nifty 5-4-3 double plays here this afternoon.
They've settled down, Bob, and everybody's into the game now. The nerves are gone. They're just playing up to their ability.
Adam Farrow has battled through 2 different hand injuries this season. A hairline fracture to his left hand in mid-April, then in early March. Prior to that, took some stitches in his left hand. Spike diving back in on a pickoff attempt, and we mentioned that because of all the activity the Seminoles have had at first base today. All those head-first dives back into the bag. It's bound to take its toll.
Oh, it also affects you offensively when you're swinging the bat, too. Looks like he's pretty well healed up right now. But it's tough to get a good grip, a good solid swing. When the ball makes contact with the bat, it's going to have some vibration within the hand. The interesting thing about Perot is that he makes adjustments. He knows he's going to get that changeup, so he's moved up in the box, closer to the pitcher.
There's a strike. And you know what's interesting?
And he's moved up and took that changeup right down the middle.
If he strides at all, he's out of the box.
Well, that's okay.
That's how far up he is.
Yeah, he took 1 foot in there.
And ball 4. So Redmond, going to a 3-ball count for just the 3rd time, walks his 2nd man.
An interesting pitch that time by Redmond. Came back with the fastball up and in. I would have thought he would have, the fastball, just tail it away or use that changeup again.
Scott Zetch with a solid single to left his first time. It's just a piece of it. 0-1.
Zetch with a little bit of everything offensively and defensively today. Good defensive play, but also had an error. And a good solid line drive hit. Also had a K.
Scott with a big hit in last year's opening game against LSU. This one bounces away. Off to second goes Faroux. And that will be a wild pitch.
One of the rare lapses for Mark Redmond that time, holding on to that changeup a little bit too long.
Flores couldn't find it. Now hung up between second and third is Faroux. And Faroux recognizing that Flores couldn't find it, got it away too much. Flores recovered and nails it. That's it for the Seminoles in the 6th inning. No runs and a hit. We're still tied. Advertised, this matchup between Jonathan Johnson and Mark Redmond, everything we thought it would be, 1-1 as we go to the 7th inning. Coming up tomorrow live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, the Massachusetts Handicap. Top-ranked horse in the country, Cigar, will be competing. $250,000 purse in that one. And then tomorrow live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, the Super Truck Ford Dealers 200. With some familiar names of Waltrip, Bodine, Roger Mears, all taking place in Louisville, Kentucky. Right now it's Omaha, Nebraska, the venue in the opening round of the College World Series, and David Miner leading it off for Oklahoma. Single to right his last time. 1 run, 3 hits for OU, 1, 6, and 2 for the Seminoles. Larry Koshel matching which with Mike Martin, pitch for pitch. The two aces head-to-head in this game.
Nothing more than the matchup we had anticipated and predicted. Going into the 7th inning, a good quick game. Pitchers around the plate every time.
Fouled at first.
David Miner has taken some very good cuts his first 2 at bats, and another good one that time here in his 3rd at bat in the top of the 7th. Both the Miner brothers hitting the ball extremely well. Miner with a home run to tie the game in the top of the 5th.
And that fills the count, 3-2.
It'll be interesting to pitcher seeing 2 guys 6'7" up at the plate. That's a big strike zone.
Here's a big ball game. This Sooner bunch. It was a football team we watched at Penny Press. There's a smash to center, right past Jonathan Johnson. Second hit for David Miner. The Miner brothers have 3 of the Sooners' 4 hits in this game.
Could I say the Miners have a major presence?
Yes, they do. Drove that one right past the bill of the cap of Jonathan Johnson.
Good short stride, goes out there and just gets the bat right on the ball, hits it where it's pitched. Nice job.
So now it will be Jonathan Johnson's turn to try to keep a runner close at first base. David Miner 4 for 4 in steals this year.
Zetch is in at third base. And the runner on first base.
Flores has struck out and hit into a double play. Looking pitch, miss it.
Both teams scratching for a run now because both pitchers are in sync. They're working at their capabilities. Both teams know if they can get one on the board, they've got a good chance of winning this game in regulation.
Would you think, Bunt, here with Flores, it might take the bat out of Ryan Miner's hand?
With 1 strike, yes, I would, Bunt, especially when the third baseman goes back like that. That's why when you're a hitter, you got to look around in this situation, see how the corners are playing. Take a look if they're playing double play depth up the middle. Third baseman back 5, 6 paces behind third base. Now 1-1 would have been a good time to bunt. 2 strikes, you got to cover the plate. They were very close that time. Now, if you're looking at that pitch from center field as we are, you say it's got to be in the strike zone. I think it was. The letters to me are the strike zone.
Other first movement, and it smashed is short. The Seminoles are going to get to it. Easy throw back to Mankiewicz, and just like that, Oklahoma has a threat that is gone by the boards. Cheryl Martin, the wife of Seminole head coach Mike Martin, and mom to the catcher, running with her approval, and why not? Boy, they faced Ryan Miner with the bases empty and 2 outs. The Sooners thought they had something going.
It's amazing when you're pitching well how the balls are hit at your defensive players also. That's happened for both teams today.
Ryan's home run to left center. His 6th of the season. Tied the game at 1, and that's where we stand as the Sooners back to top of the 7th.
Put his home run off a tight slider the last time up. Don't look for any sliders over the plate this time. And Johnson, you want to go at him with your strength. Made him beat you with the fastball.
If you count the regional, Ryan Miner is 9 for his last 17.
He's confident. He's focused. 3 straight fastballs by Jonathan Johnson. Strength against strength. I'd be surprised if you heard the words of Miner after the home run.
So here was the blast by Ryan Miner. This came in the 5th inning, just going down and lifting that one out of the ballpark.
Same pitch he hit out. He just swung and missed for strike 2.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Fastball
and bounced foul at third base. Miner hit a couple of home runs in one game against Texas in the regionals. Last year on the College World Series All-Tournament team. Had 4 hits here in Omaha last year. Mike Martin reaching into his bag of tricks. See what they serve up to the breaking ball. And just missed. Boy, that's a couple of borderline pitches that have not gone the Seminoles' way.
This looks like a strike to me, Rob. That ball is up high enough. It's over the plate. Now we're 3-2. Let's take a look. Gives him a 4. Normally that's a changeup, but I'm not thinking changeup on it. That would be power against power. So where he sets up outside.
Brooks Badeau throws out Ryan Miner, and Davis can dig it out. And the leadoff single is wasted. Stretch 7th in Omaha with the score Oklahoma 1 and Florida State 1.
Welcome back to Omaha. For those of you who had a chance to watch the College World Series last year, you know we were out and about in the city of Omaha. Well, now we're going to take you back and show you some of those wonderful sites that we visited. Hey, you've heard of Billy Ball? This is Polar Bear Ball. Hey, nice looking apple.
Hey, wait, you got my Apple TV, dude?
Yeah, guys, I'm with you. I'm just down on the first baseline.
Just give me the usual. Thanks, Kelly. This ought to tide me over. I'd better get back to the stadium.
Wow, TV dude can chow.
This is the Omaha livestock market where they sell cattle. Let's go inside.
$45 there, now quarter. $45 a quarter. Sold them to the TV dude.
And yes, America, he's back.
The dude.
Our good friend Larry Conley. Where are you, dude?
Well, I'm down behind home plate, Bob, and we've got some other things we're going to do this year in Omaha, and we'll just have to have everybody tune in and watch.
Scott Zetch leading off the Florida State 7th inning. Now, he was at the plate when Faroux was tagged out, headed to 3rd and the 6th inning. So FSU gets a little bit of a bonus out of a bad play. They got Zetch to lead off the inning. And thinking bunt, the corners race in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
As a hitter, Bob, I like the situation, even though it was a negative where I was up to the plate when somebody was thrown out. He saw a lot of pitches. Now he goes back up. There's a chance again.
can't have enough knowledge when you face Mark Redmond.
Especially when you start to see 6, 7, 8 pitches, relatively in a row from a pitcher like Redmond. The more you see, the more timing you get.
And pretty deep to right. Shackelford going back. That ball's going to be caught. Shackelford with a grab. Scott Zetch driving the ball to the opposite field. The freshman, Brian Shackelford, goes back to make the catch.
Now, Zetch does a good job of taking this outside pitch and lining it to right center. Brian Shackelford keeping his eye on it in the Sunfield, leaps out, stays with it, just kind of slides up and lifts it up and says, I got that one. I tracked that one.
We'll circle that one on the scorecard. A big defensive play late in the 1-1 game. Mike Martin Jr. takes a strike. Mike came up with a single in the second inning that loaded the bases. And the man next, J.D. Drew, received a base-loaded walk to the Florida State run. Quickly 0-2. In the Oklahoma bullpen, right-hander Russell Ortiz has started to come. Martin continues at 0-2. Here's a look at the Oklahoma closer. Didn't know if we'd see the bullpens today with these two guys. 1-2.
A little bit of a tight slider that time, mixing it in every now and then. More of a waste pitch, Bob, for Mark Redmond.
Let's see if he sets him up to go away. Maybe spin one here. That has Martin 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got a piece of it to stay alive. One out, bases empty.
You see the third baseman and first baseman, Bob, away from the line. A lot of times coaches are having guarding the line in the 7th inning line.
Tips are cleared by Flores. 6 strikeouts for Mark Redmond. 2 up, 2 down. J.D. Drew next. The strikeout of Martin. Had him 0-2 to start with.
Martin's hit the ball pretty hard, but this time with the ball up. See, Redmond had kept the ball down, then he changes locations and just throws it right on by Mike Martin.
J.D. Drew, the freshman with the lefty stick, and thinking that before the ball game, well, would he be overmatched against Redmond? Well, he's had a bases-loaded walk and an infield hit.
And see how quiet he is at the plate. No big rush towards Redmond. Nice short stride. Stays back. Stays within himself.
19 years old and raw power. J.D. Drew. All with 2 strikes. This is the opening game of the 49th College World Series. Tonight, second half of our doubleheader here in Omaha on ESPN. Miami and Southern Cal, 7:30 Eastern Time. Good to see the Trojans back in the tournament for the first time since 1978. Upstairs, 2-2.
Especially for a freshman, J.D. Drew, and talking about being quiet. That's the big key, because you try to rush at the pitcher, invariably you're going to have a slow back.
Pitched to short. Squibbing out to Hills. Couldn't get it. Safe is through. Boy, a lot of spin on that ball, Steve, and Hills had a very difficult play to make.
2 things happened that time. Drew was jammed, causing a lot of spin. Once it hit the grass, he kicked the other way, and it made it difficult for Hills to field it cleanly. See, he can't get a hold of it. The ball's still spinning, and too late to get him at first.
So Florida State gets a break. And Brooks Badeau trying to keep it going with 2 outs in the 7th. And he'll bunt. Foul.
Badeau, a very knowledgeable 9th place hitter, knows that what he has to do is get the table set for the leadoff hitter. There's somebody that's just having a lovely afternoon in Omaha. That's right.
We'll wake you up when the winning run comes across.
It's a priority.
0-2 now on Badeau. We've mentioned today the great pickoff move and throws to first by Redmond. These FSU runners, more often than not, when the pitch is delivered, their motion is going back to the bag. That's how effective Redmond is. Hit on the ground, big bounce for Hills. He'll go the short way to end the 7-7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. 7 complete in Omaha, and even at a run apiece. Tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Jonathan Johnson, the latest in a long line of Florida State first-round draft picks, going number 7 overall to the Texas Rangers yesterday. Let us go downstairs to Larry Conley standing by with the Johnson family. Larry?
Yeah, Bob, thank you. I'm sitting here with Johnny Johnson, his dad, and Johnny, obviously the type of game you expected to see between 2 great pitchers.
Right, sure is.
You coached him a little bit coming through, all the way up through what, age of 14?
Right, that's correct.
What do you think about this game today? How's it going to end up? What do you think it's going to hinge on?
Well, I think it's going to come down to the team that makes the first mistake. It looks like we got a good pitching duel, and I guess the one that lasts the longest or the good stroke.
Guys, I got to tell you, he's a minister, and he's been saying a lot of prayers the last couple of innings.
Amen. 1 ball and 1 strike on the leadoff man, Rich Hills. Johnson with 94 pitches through 7 as Hills lines out to short. His opposite number, Redmond, with 98 pitches through 7. So everything even. Run aside, 7 hits for FSU, 4 for Oklahoma. Brian Shackelford had made the fine catch in right field. He'll take a strike from Johnson. At the plate, Brian is 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls to right field. 7, 8, 9 hitters here in the 8th inning.
Brian Shackelford has been on Jonathan Johnson's fastball, and able to pull it. It seems like one swing might break this game wide open.
And there's a fly ball to deep right field. There's the swing, and there's the Oklahoma lead. Brian Shackelford with his 7th home run this season, and the biggest hit of his young career. Sooners 2, Seminoles 1.
Austin, you shall receive. Shackelford hitting the ball very well against Johnson earlier in the game. Finally gets the pitch that he can drive.
Another hanging breaking ball, and Shackelford hits it out of here, and it's 2-1 Oklahoma. And now Jesse Zepeda at the plate. 2 mistakes and 2 hangers, and Oklahoma has burned Jonathan Johnson via the long ball to lead 2-1.
You can't throw fastballs on every pitch. You got to go back to a breaking ball from time to time. The problem is Johnson hasn't wasted his breaking ball and he's left it over the plate. Let's take a look now. Shackelford poised, just a hanging slide down around the knees. Shackelford, a good low ball hitter, and Dad just says, "That's the one we didn't want."
Well, that time the prayers went unanswered. It looked like it kicked off the light tower.
It did.
And then came back onto the field of play. There is no warm-up activity in the Florida State bullpen. Mike Martin out there just to calm Jonathan Johnson down a bit, get him to refocus.
It's a good time to do it. Next pitch he threw after the home run was in the dirt. So you got to go out there and just let him breathe a little bit, try to get his mind off of what just happened, to get him refocused on the catcher.
Okay, to the switch hitting second baseman. And a ball and no strikes. 2-1 Sooners. Oklahoma's first lead of the game.
pitch by Johnson. More to the Mark Redmond philosophy of mixing up his speeds.
Hit the second. Lopez cradles the hop. 2 away. Now the leadoff man for the Sooners, Eric Thomas, was hitless in 3 times, trying to keep it going here in the 8th. But the Sooners have taken the lead. The Brian Shackelford home run has put Oklahoma in front 2-1. Thomas, a line drive hitter. Sends this roller out to Lopez. And Thomas with a good speed, but Lopez is able to throw him out. Jonathan Johnson yields the home run, and Oklahoma leads it 2-1. 2-1, Oklahoma leading Florida State on the strength of a home run by that man, Brian Shackelford. He gets the arm loose out in right field. In the second inning, Florida State scored its only run. They had the bases loaded. J.D. Drew had walked, and that forced in Adam Farrow. Then Brooks Badeau came up with 1 away, and Redmond struck him out. And then a tough little hitter in Mickey Lopez with 2 away, and Redmond struck him out. And that was it for the Seminoles. They settled for the 1 run. Oklahoma has come back. A home run from Ryan Miner and Brian Shackelford to take this 2-1 lead. We have a defensive change at third base. And there's the new man, M.J. Mariani. Solid glove man into the ball game at third for Tristan Pohl. Lopez shows bunt, takes a strike as the Seminole 8th inning is underway.
You'll see the Seminoles do anything they can to get on base now.
Lopez taking, and you can see, Steve, those corner men throwing caution to the wind. They're charging hard, particularly Ryan Miner from first base.
Not only are they in, they're guarding the line a little bit at third, a little bit at first.
Here's the bunt to third. Mariani right and makes the big play. Boy, right off the pines and right into it. He made a tough play look pretty easy.
That's why he's out there on defense. Came in a la Brooks Robinson, scooped the ball up, fired to first base. A little off balance, throws a strike. M.J. Mariani, a class third baseman.
Randy Hodgins. Hit the ball hard as last time, takes the off-speed pitch for a strike. Hodges came up in the 5th inning with a man at first and 2 outs and laced one, but right at Ryan Miner, the first baseman. So it's been a tough 0 for 3 for Hodges so far. And he airs this one to the gap in right center field. Shackelford on the run. Boy, this Oklahoma bunch can lay some leather on you. Another great running catch for Shackelford.
Brian Shackelford having an excellent game today defensively and, of course, offensively with the go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th inning.
2 stellar defensive plays here in the 8th. Now it's Doug Mankiewicz. And you know he's thinking one long ball can get his ball club even.
Mankiewicz going up here thinking one thing at this time. I want to drive this ball. I want to try to tie up this game. I've seen the changeup. I've seen the fastball. I've seen the curveball. I'm going to sit back and get 3 good rips in.
17 home runs for Mankiewicz. And just as a little sidebar, last summer on Team USA, they toured Alaska and faced Mark Redmond's team in Anchorage. Mankiewicz had a home run off Mark. Obviously, much different circumstances and pressures today, but you know that seed is in the back of his mind.
With a fastball to begin with, then threw 2 more fastballs that make it 2-1. Watch the change.
Now 3-1.
what he's trying to do right now is he's overthrowing a little bit. His out pitch is really the changeup. He's trying to sneak it by the big hitter.
And walked it. So Mankiewicz is aboard, representing the tying run, the third walk by Redmond. And Jeremy Morris is up next.
That's the first time I've seen Redmond really overthink and really give a lot of respect to a hitter. I think he just pitched around Mankiewicz that time. He didn't want him to beat him. And that's not a bad philosophy either. Don't let the big guy in the other team beat you. Make somebody else do it.
And that underscores, Steve, the point we were making earlier about this man at the plate, Morris, and how important it is for this FSU club to have a hot bat right behind Mankiewicz.
Morris 0 for 3 to this point. If he had been 2 for 3, Mankiewicz would have seen better pitches.
1-1. Jeremy Morris hit 5 home runs for Mike Martin this season. Young man who started on the Seminole football team. He's converted to baseball. Hits the ball in the air to right center field. Coming in is Shackelford. He goes. And the ball drops in. First one to second base. There's Morris at the third. Mankiewicz. Doug Mankiewicz, there was 2 outs and only got to third base.
A big mental error for the Seminoles. That's the third base running mistake of the day for Florida State. He should have scored easily on that. Even when the ball came in, he should have scored with that.
I don't know what happened on this fly, Steve. I don't know whether Shackelford was fooled on the swing, but he lost this ball in right center and was screaming for some help.
This is off the end of the bat. What happened, Bob, was it got to a position in right center where it was really in the sun. See, he loses it in this hazy gray sky.
Looks like the Sooners are going to get out of it. Hales makes the catch. And for the want of some better base running, Florida State would have a tie game. Instead, the Sooners hold on to their 1-run lead. Oklahoma with this 2-1 lead as we move to the top of the 9th inning here. The Sooners, of course, returning to Rosenblatt Stadium as the NCAA champions. And a look back at Chip Glass.
Hit to right center and hit a long way. Key and Killamet, and Key got there, but he couldn't hold the ball. Glass can flies on his way to third. They get a second, they will. The relay is offline, and they won't get him. Line to left center. Glass. What a catch!
Center fielder Chip Glass, the MVP of the College World Series last year, providing the spark offensively and defensively. Larry Koshel doesn't have Mr. Glass around, but he's got a new star, Mr. Brian Shackelford. 2 great catches today and a home run that has put the Sooners in front. Here's a bouncing ball out towards second. The shortstop, Bedore. Coming up next for the Oklahoma Sooners is MJ Mariani. Came into the game for Christian Paul, and now Mariani gets to swing the bat. MJ, a .207 hitter during the regular year, with no homers and 15 RBIs. Suffering through a terrible slump, just 2 for his last 25. One of the reasons he did not get the start today. But in there for his glove, and just in on the great ball.
Johnson knows he's got to hold the Sooners at this point. He can't allow any more runs. He wants to keep them close so one swing can get them back in the ballgame.
And Steve, just to take a peek at that FSU 9th inning, Zetch, Martin Jr., and Drew, the 3 scheduled hitters.
A couple of guys can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Zetch and Drew.
3-1. And walked it. The first walk issued by Johnson comes to Mariani in the 9th. And activity begins in the Florida State bullpen.
Stay down.
Left-hander Scooby Morgan is the man heating up.
Stay down and hold this.
Damon Minor hit the ball very, very well today. 2 for 3. 2 line drives. Going to try to break this game wide open, Bob.
Being the left-handed bat, if he can pull the ball, he's got a little real estate on that right side of the diamond with Mankiewicz holding against Mariani.
Big hole on the right side. Second short, double play positioning. Third baseman behind the bag. Off a little bit from the line. Minor looking for that fastball. Looking for the fastball. Gets the changeup way out front. So to stay back. That's about the 4th or 5th changeup that Johnson has thrown today. Spotted and well, been very effective each time. Good contrast to a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Check swing and a little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Minor with the 2 singles, 1 to center, 1 to right.
Martin sets up outside.
And they pitch out. They got Mariani hung up between first and second, and Mike Martin doing the smart thing, running right at him. And the easy toss down to Brooks Badeau for the out. Mariani was trying to lull Martin into a throw, but Mike would have nothing to do with it, showing great fundamental baseball.
Good timing for the pitch out. Martin steps out. Now he's very smart. You're taught to run right at the runner, force him to go one way or the other. You want one throw executed perfectly. Little jab to the chin. 2 away.
That comes along with that. Here's Minor continuing with the fight now, 2-2. This is Minor with 2 outs and nobody on. And he laces one and hits the bag and a foul down the line. Stopping at first, Damon Minor with his 3rd hit of the game. Now he was able to pull Jonathan Johnson.
That time again, a little more off speed from Johnson this last inning or 2 than he did the first 6 or 7 innings of this game. Take a look at this pitch. Minor, short stride, really gets around it, hits the ball hard down the line, kicks off the bag, goes into right field, and a good job by Hodges holding him at first.
Boy, he just about jumped out of his shoes to go after that pitch. Now Javi Flores. Tough day at the plate. He struck out. He's hit into 2 double plays. Minor at first at 2 outs, 2-1 Oklahoma in the 9th.
Flores in a real crouched position. Can't use your legs as well when you're really bent over as much as he is. Spread out.
And that is an exaggerated stance.
Probably overstriding, Bob, and you want him to spread out a little bit and stay back. But it's very, very tough to use your legs with this type of stance. You're getting him just to make contact.
One ball, 1 strike. Damon Minor. 4 for 4 and stolen base attempts this season. Don't figure he's running here with 2 outs in the 9th inning. 2-1 count, might hit and run. 2-2.
Larry Kershaw thinking right now, well, do I send him or do I let Flores swing away? 1-run lead.
Not right. Strike 3 call. So the Florida State Seminoles gets the final out of the top of the 9th to keep it a 1-1 game and lock them up for their final swing. The Seminoles need 1 to tie, 2 to win. Scott Zetch, Mike Martin Jr., and J.D. Drew to bat here in the bottom of the 9th inning against Mark Redmond. This delicious pitching matchup that we anticipated, it has been all of that. Redmond and Jonathan Johnson. And the Sooners have been able to touch Jonathan for 2 home runs. One of the big stories in this game, and that man has been outstanding. He struck out 6 today, walked 3, dodged a couple of bullets along the way. One in the 2nd, later in the 8th. And here he is in the 9th with a 1-run lead. Home runs by Minor and Shackelford, Ryan Minor, Redmond's line, and what Johnson has done. If you look back to the 2th inning, Steve, the bottom of the 2nd, when Redmond escaped bases loaded, 1 out with just 1 run scoring, and then the 8th, the base running miscue by Mankiewicz. There's big innings in this game. Ball 1.
Bob Redmond went to his hat. Will it be one last time just before he threw that first pitch? He showed you early in the game. He's got confidence written on the bill. And he's had a lot of it this game.
2-0.
He might have the take sign on right now, forcing Redmond to throw a strike. Rich not really making a good attempt at bunting it.
3-0. With the Seminole bench coming to life, and now Dad comes out to give Junior a couple of words.
Seminoles also a little superstition. The rally hats are on.
That's right.
Like we said before, they'll do anything to get a victory here.
They need 1 run. A ball club that has averaged 8 a game. 3-2, and Zetch hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder.
Redmond comes back with 2 fastballs down the middle. 1 more. Zetch has got to swing at it.
The payoff. Walked it to start the 9th.
Coaches and managers, Bob, hate leadoff walks. Leadoff walks lose more ball games than probably any other play in leadoff in life.
In the Oklahoma pen, Russell Ortiz, the sinker baller, ready if needed. But right now, all eyes on Mark Redmond and Mike Martin Jr., the pitcher-hitter confrontation. Mike singled to center in the 2nd. Since he's flied to left and struck out swinging. And drives one to right field, but it won't carry. Shackelford nearing the strike. Out number 1.
You've got to remember, this is the bottom of the 9th. 1 swing can win it for FSU. And Mike Martin feeling maybe his son could do it. He got under it a little bit that time.
Certainly, Steve, it begs the question, why not bunt?
Well,
why not sacrifice?
I think Mike Martin has hit the ball well this game. And as we said before, this is Mike Martin Sr.'s last hurrah, and he gave him a chance to swing away.
J.D. Drew. And 0-1. Couple of infield hits and a bases-loaded walk for this freshman.
This is my pick to really scare Redmond. He's got the power.
And there's a fly ball. Deep left field.
The freshman. Steals victory from the jaws of defeat.
Defeats Oklahoma. A 2-run home run to the opposite field by J.D. Drew. Mark Redmond and the Oklahoma Sooners are stunned. Drew's 14th home run, the biggest of his young career.
We talked about his tremendous power. He can hit it out to all fields. He takes the fastball and goes with it to left field, stays right on and head down. Bat accelerates through. It was gone when he hit it.
A leadoff walk in the 9th, and then J.D. Drew sends the Seminoles into the winner's circle on opening day of the 49th College World Series. Final score from Omaha in a dandy. Seminoles 3, Oklahoma 2. We'll be back going down to the field for some interviews with the winners when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the College World Series is brought to you by Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's.
The Seminoles were staring at defeat in their first game. And with lightning-like swiftness, a 2-run home run by J.D. Drew turns this one completely around. Seminoles win it on the last swing of the day, 3-2. Over the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's go downstairs to Larry.
Thanks, Bob. I got a couple of happy Seminoles right here. On my left is the winning pitcher, Jonathan Johnson. And Jonathan, a terrific outing today. Only 2 mistakes, and you told me they were really riding your curveball.
Yeah, I was having to throw a lot of breaking pitches early. Later in the game, I established my fastball and started getting a little off balance. But they saw so many breaking balls early, I think they were on me later. And, you know, those things happen. Both my curveballs got out of the park. And, you know, 6 hits, I was impressed with my performance, and Redmond threw great too. I think he showed why he was 13th in the 13th pick in the draft, and he threw a great game. He made the one mistake, and that was the difference in the game.
Jonathan, obviously with this big win here in this first game and get you guys off on the right foot, how important is it to your pitching staff? Are you deep enough and it makes no difference, or is it that important to have this first victory?
Well, a tournament like this where you get so many days off, our pitching staff is built for more of a 4 or 5 game tournament. And, you know, here in Omaha, we feel real secure about our pitching staff. And, you know, we're not worried about – I guess this is a great leap for us to get into the winner's bracket, but not for our pitching, but more for, you know, I don't know. There's so much commotion. Go ahead. Go to him. Can y'all go?
I think Jonathan's had it. He doesn't want to talk anymore. All right, Jonathan, let's talk to J.D. Drew. J.D., what kind of pitch did you hit?
Fastball, outside corner. You know, I've been looking to hit the ball the other way all day, and he got in on me a couple times to jam me. And looking that time, he was throwing me fastballs all day and never would throw me that changeup. And he pitched a great ball game and just left the ball out across the outside corner of the plate.
We're going to take a look at the shot right now that probably was heard around collegiate baseball world today. You got to feel awfully happy. I mean, you're just a freshman. How exciting can it be?
Yes, sir. It's a big win. You know, just helping out the team feels great. You know, coming in, the fellas, you know, coming to home plate and getting mobbed like that, it's a big experience.
I was a big confidence builder now for you guys going into this next game.
Yes, sir. We needed that, I think. Coming in, we got David Yoakum pitching the next game, I think, and he's a great lefty. And, you know, our team is hitting the ball well, and I just hope we can continue the momentum.
Okay, great. Congratulations and good luck to you. Bob, Steve, I had one guy could talk and one that couldn't.
That was great. Thanks, Larry. And the interesting thing, Steve, on Drew's home run, it came on that 88-mile-an-hour fastball, the fastest of the game, as registered by our jugs gun by Redmond. And it's a ball that J.D. Drew hits out of the ballpark to win it for Florida State. 3-2 over Oklahoma. We'll be back. Well, for Seminole fans, particularly back in Tallahassee and throughout Florida, they may be thinking, well, maybe it is our year after all. J.D. Drew's 2-run, 9th-inning home run, lifting the Seminoles to win 3-2. Now we're going to play Can You Top This? Who knows? Tune in at 7:30 and find out. 2 great clubs, Miami and Southern Cal, head-to-head. The winner of that game to meet Florida State, the loser to meet Oklahoma here at the College World Series first bracket. Game 2 tonight. Mike Patrick on the call, and it should be a dandy. Now look at Jonathan Johnson as he accepts gladly the cheers from his fans and the Seminole faithful on hand here, heading to the bus, to the hotel, and a day to think about it, and FSU will be back in the winner's bracket to play on Sunday. It was a whale of a game, Steve Garvey. We thought we'd see between these two pitchers an outstanding classic low-scoring game, and we got just that.
Very much so, Bob. The game lived up to the expectations of ours and of the fans, and I think of our viewers. Two pitchers drafted in the first round threw exceptionally well. We knew that either one play or one swing would break the game open, and it did. It was interesting today that the freshmen and sophomores really played very, very well for both teams. So not only did the veterans come through and play as expected, but the youngsters, as I said, came through, and especially with a big home run by Drew at the end.
And it's a defeat that snaps Oklahoma's 12-game winning streak in NCAA tournament competition. We will return to Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha right after these words with the Seminoles over the Sooners 3-2. As an emotion-filled first game as you could ever want. Mike Martin and the Florida State Seminoles win it on a ninth-inning, one-out home run by freshman J.D. Drew. A prodigious blast, his third hit of the game, and it made a winner of the Seminoles. They will go on to face the Miami Southern Cal winner. For Oklahoma, Steve Garvey, you got to bounce back and bounce back in just a couple of days. Get off the deck emotionally.
When you're national champions, there's a reason you're here, and that is they're battlers. They'll be back.
Final score, Seminoles 3 and the Sooners 2. For Larry Conley, Steve Garvey, Bob Rathman, our entire crew from Omaha, we will see you tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. And the National Spelling Bee is coming up next. We will join it in progress. So long from Omaha.